Welcome to Larry's Library. Look at this. This is kind of crazy looking, right? But it's really not as much as it looks. I mean, yes, full disclosure, I did exceed my budget by a little bit. But this is my August haul. And now, why is it in 3 boxes? It could have been in one big box, because these are all from in-stock trades. Well, except for these ones on top. Okay. But if you've shopped at instocktrades.com much, then you know how it works. If you order weekly, within 8 days, I think, of each other, then you get like 2% off. It's not a lot, but it's a little. And so you get that off the next order. So I try to strategically do that as much as I can, while also hitting the minimum for free shipping in the US, which is $50. So it's probably too much strategizing to save 2%, but I'm trying to get it in budget, and that would help. So that's why they get broken out like this. And for some reason, IST bumped my order up to free FedEx shipping for some reason. All 3 of these FedEx. I don't know why, but I'm happy about that. So, but before we get to the IST ones, let's take a look at these that I have on top here. Tear shit up. Okay. Now this one, this is from eBay. And this is an example of how not to ship a comic book. But yet, just feeling of it, it appears like it worked. It had no right to work, okay, but it seems intact. The person wrote, "Fragile, do not bend," all over it. And I do the same when I ship stuff. I mean, I don't ship it in a flimsy deal like this, and from what I understand, mail carriers have no reason or expectation to obey when it says "fragile, do not bend." I mean, it's not a thing that they prioritize. They don't have time for that. You got to make your package good enough, like this. Now, will I use this, even if this comes out okay, will I use this eBay dealer again? Probably not, because it shows me they don't know how to ship a comic book. This is way too flimsy. There's no cardboard inside here. There's what they call sheet cardboard, but not corrugated. So, let's just get into it. I'm going to try to open this up without hurting anything. Yeah, made it. Okay. So they used a plastic bag to send it UPS Ground Advantage, Ground Advantage, which is one of the lower options, which is fine. I mean, I got this book for a song. I got this thing so cheap. It's no wonder they didn't want to spend any money on shipping. But that's still not an excuse to send a book like this in a priority mailer with no corrugated inside. See, when I send something in a priority mailer, which is how I ship comics when I sell them. 1 second. I put 2 pieces of this. This is just corrugated cardboard. It's not even the really thick kind, but it's fairly strong. I sandwich the comic book in between these 2, and then I shove this whole package that's taped together securely inside of this priority mailer, and that works fine. Now, what this person did is they used a priority mailer to send it in a less than priority mail rate, which is illegal. So this was a federal crime here that they did, because these supplies, this mailer, is for when you send something priority mail. Okay, so if this had been ripped open or cut in some way, and the wrong person at the post office would have seen it, this guy would have got fined for using this inside of this. So, yeah, he won't be saved as one of my favorite sellers, even though it appears this thing got to me intact, and it did. It had no right to. I mean, the poor way he shipped this should have been a mess. But it wasn't. It actually came out pretty good. So, how is the reflection there? Can you see it? There we go. This is Spectacular Spider-Man issue 200. It's written by J.M. DeMatteis. Yeah, that's it. And with beautiful art by Sal Buscema. I know. You said you don't buy singles anymore. You know what? I made an exception here. I think it was featured in the last unboxing. I read a maybe. I had a book I got from my son-in-law, Reed Chancellor, an art book of Sal Buscema. Big long interview with him in it, and he talked about drawing this issue, and he showed some. They have some scans of those pages in that book, and it made me want to have it. And ironically, this is also the cover that's featured on the omnibus that just came out that collects this run, which I kind of want it, but at the same time, I know I just can't get everything. I mean, this stuff is expensive, you know what I'm saying? And I just can't, I can't read every run and I can't buy every run. So I did get this one as a good representation of that run, I think. And yeah, I'm anxious to read it for that art, if nothing else, although I do love J.M. DeMatteis. So there's a single. This, I mentioned in the last unboxing video, the Nate Powell unboxing video, which not very many people watch, unfortunately, but those did, you'll know what I'm talking about. I got this, A Dream of Swords. This is by Chris Schweitzer, and I learned about it at that local convention, Evansville Museum GeekCon. See if I can find some stuff I can show here about that. That work? Mm-hmm. Maybe. Haven't read it yet. But he sort of traveled the world and went to museums and other places, and he kept being fascinated by all these swords. And he started sketching them as he was in these places. And he wrote about it here, and it's sort of it looks like it's kind of a journal of cool swords that he's seen all over the world, and he talks about them. It's not really a comic book per se, but it's definitely some beautiful artwork. And I am fascinated with swords, so had to get this. Yeah, love it. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I haven't read it yet. And my daughter Kristen gifted me this. This is Mr. Mammoth, another Matt Kindt book. Don't know a thing about it, but it has some beautiful art in it. I mean, wow. Look at this gorgeous art. And it's by a French artist. I'll probably butcher this name, but I'm going to give it a good shot. Jean-Denis Pindanx. I don't know. But it's great looking art in here. And I do like Matt Kindt's work, so probably going to love this. Now, here is the orders I placed in August from InStockTrades.com. And it's been they've been sitting here so long because I was waiting on the last box to come in, and it finally came today. So I'm not even sure what is in what. These new boxes are pretty cool. Actually don't require a lot of cuts. Look at that. Best in the business, InStockTrades.com. Just doesn't get any better than that. A little bit of bubble wrap on top. And then we're right into, how can I show this? Maybe. We're right into the custom insert. Just grab these out of here. And this one is actually part of the box. Look what they've done here. So I don't know if all IST stuff's going to be this way from here on out, but it's just like the custom inserts they've used in the past. Like this one, which love these, but they've taken it a step further now. I got a mess in this room. I gotta clean it up. Where it's built into the box. Gotta say, love that. And these would be great to reship something in. So probably have to clean this mess up in here so I can stack these up in a corner and keep them. My producer slash wife is rolling her eyes right now behind the camera, looking at this mess that is just out of frame. You guys can't see the pile over there, and the stuff I'm stepping through here. It's crazy. Anyway, so what did I get? What was in that box? This is Elf Quest, the original quest, book 3. Did that show up okay with the glare? And this is the original run of the Elf Quest series, which I have in the single issue form where they came out in as a Marvel Epic line. Now, I think the colors in these are by Wendy Pini herself, whereas the colors in the Epic run are by, I want to say, Glenise Oliver. I could be wrong. I can't remember now, but it's a Marvel colorist. Well, that's fine. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what changes were made, by the Peonies compared to the ones that were made by Marvel Editorial, because I know there was a little bit of formatting changes there. So I'm going to read all these. I think it takes 5. So when I get all 5, I'm going to reread the saga in that form. And now this one came out a couple weeks ago, and I was afraid I was going to miss it. But I was able to get it. This is the last one I was waiting on, I think. This is, what's it called? Lost Marvels Volume 2 by Fantagraphics. And this volume is all Howard Chaykin stuff. And it says Howard Chaykin Volume 1. So I'm guessing Lost Marvels Volume 3 will be Howard Chaykin Volume 2. That's a little confusing. So this has Dominic Fortune, Monarch Starstalker, Phantom Eagle. And I think that's all this collects. Which, I have singles of some of these. As Garage Geek pointed out in one of his recent videos, most of the stuff in this volume are not hard to obtain. They're a lot of, they're like Bronze and Copper Age Marvel stuff that you can get pretty easily. So he's not sure what the appeal here is other than the oversized art. Bang, bang, that's the answer. To have these in this gorgeous oversized format. I'm all about it. So, happy about that. Look at that. How easy is that? Man, they are nailing it. IST's got the packaging down. If they could just work on that website now and improve the real-time inventory, which they don't have that down. They need to work on that, but they've got the infrastructure for the boxes done now. This is fantastic. And look at that. Well, I'm going to have to open this one, get my invoice out so I don't dox myself.
I think you already did.
Huh?
No, you did.
Wife says I already did. I don't think so. Okay. Check this out. I got Dr. Worthless. How's that? I got to hide down so it doesn't focus on my eyes. But this is a little hardcover by Harold Schechter, maybe, with art by Eric Powell. Now, this is the same team that Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Done? And this is all about that awful doctor who wrote that book, Seduction of the Innocent, that caused comic books to have the Comics Code Authority stamp on them. And for a long time there in the 50s, you couldn't have werewolves, you couldn't have vampires. I mean, it was silly. And this is the story of this guy. So this should be good historical reading for a comics fan or a collector for sure. Now, this one I got for my granddaughter, Quinn. This is for her little collection. We're going to put a shelf up on the other side of this room eventually for Sesame Street Bert and Ernie's Spring Cleaning. IST had that. I just bought it blindly. Didn't know anything about it. But it is a comic book. Check it out. So, it's cute. Yeah, this is like $5 at IST. So I figured, hey, get that for Quinn. Now for something completely different. We go from Sesame Street to Richard Corbin. Another Richard Corbin collection from Dark Horse. This is, they don't have volume numbers on them. I think this is like the 5th or 6th one. I got them all so far. This one is Ralph and Other Fantasy Stories. How's that looking?
Mm-hmm.
Good? Yeah. So, glad to get that. Once again, this looks like what IST has went to now. The custom insert is built in this awesome box. I know, you're thinking, this guy really loves those boxes. Well, when you've been buying comics as long as I have, and you keep getting stuff that's damaged, you appreciate things like this. And I hope that's what these videos reflect and can be used by somebody who's not sure. And, do I want to order from this company or not? Well, this gives you an idea how they ship. Because I like to show that. It might help somebody. All right, last one from In Stock Trades. And the last one for the August haul. Been waiting a long time for this one. Check it out. This is Namor the Submariner, Volume 1. Now, there's been Namor omnibuses before, but they've all been collecting the Golden Age stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm about the Silver Age and newer. And I tried to collect this series several times back when I was buying singles and really actively collecting single-issue comic books. And man, I had issue 1, and then I had like 7 and 5 and 10 and 12, and you know, I had about half of the 70-odd issue run of this one. And I just never could get them all. And if I could find them all, they were in really ratty condition for what I could afford to pay. It was becoming unobtainium, so I eventually just sold off the ones I had and switched to hardcovers, hoping that one day this would happen. And it did. Here's Volume 1. Now, funny thing about this one, it only actually has one issue of this series in it. Because Marvel has went back, I don't know how well you can see this. Maybe if you pause it and zoom in, you can see some of that. But it contains Fantastic Four 4, 6, 9, 14, 27, 23, Annual 1, Strange Tales, a bunch of those, some early Avengers, a Daredevil, some Tales to Astonish, Iron Man and Submariner #1, which came out before this series started. And then eventually we get to what this cover is, issue 1 of the Submariner series. So Volume 2 is where we're really going to get into that series. And it's probably going to take at least 3 volumes to cover it all, because there was like 72 issues in this run, you know. And then there's probably a few more crossovers that they're going to shove in there, because they're being really completist with this, which I appreciate. Even though it's going to have some double dipping with some other things I have. I can handle double dipping. So, really happy to have that. So glad it finally came about. So that is my haul for August. Hope you enjoy taking a look at these. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, because the YouTube algorithm is mean as hell and unpredictable. So, hope you like this. I'll see you next time.